my pleasure for me to welcome all of our friends and guests and partners and, of course, our speakers. We have a long list today of speakers, but what that tells you is a testament to the importance of this issue, to the gravity of the situation in the moment, and why everybody wanted to come out and say their piece. They're going to be short, they're going to be succinct, and they're going to have a message. So I invite everyone, including members of the press, and of course those of you watching us in your homes and offices, to take a moment to listen to every one of these speakers, and of course to make a call, to make sure that you call the governor and tell him about this particular bill and to sign it. And of course, you'll hear more about this in the next few moments. Before we start, of course, I want to make sure and acknowledge that today is one of the major high holidays for the Jewish community, Yom Kippur, and of course, our hearts and minds go to those individuals that suffered an attack today in northern England because of their faith. And so just a moment of silence, of course, for those members of our community, and of course, for the importance of this high holiday. And may, of course, have a day where you are feeling sealed. We're going to start this press event then and get it moving. Each speaker will introduce themselves. They will state their name. We will have a family member who is affected and who this bill will impact. Her name is Isabel, and she will speak in Spanish. At one moment, she will be our fifth speaker. Each speaker will introduce themselves very briefly. There will be a question and answer period as soon as all the speakers are done, but there will be, of course, one-on-one interview opportunities after all the speakers are done. So it is my pleasure then to start off this presser by introducing you to Assistant Speaker Pro Tempore Celeste Rodriguez, AB 495 author, Assemblymember Rodriguez.
Good morning. Thank you all for taking the time to join us in solidarity as we respectfully call on the governor to sign critical legislation that aims to keep our immigrant and mixed status families together. My name is Assemblywoman Celeste Rodriguez, and I was elected to serve the communities of Panorama City, Pacoima, Sun Valley, Sylmar, North Hollywood, and others in the Northeast San Fernando Valley in Sacramento. State legislators, legal service providers, survivor advocates, clergy, and school employees are all gathered today in downtown Los Angeles to meet the urgency of this moment. Los Angeles and my district have been ground zero of the Trump administration's cruel and heartless immigration raids. I introduced AB 495, the Family Preparedness Plan Act, because California has a moral duty to be the line of defense against this administration. Family like yours and mine are worrying for their safety right now. I introduced this bill so children do not have to wonder what will happen to them if their parents are not able to pick them up from school. Family preparedness plans empower parent choice. This bill would strengthen tools for parents and families to decide their future in the face of this terror. Bottom line, this bill protects parents' rights. AB 495 centers children and families. AB 495 is necessary today, so child care workers and parents do not have to wonder what will happen if ICE shows up at their daycare. California has long set the example for our nation on immigrant rights, and we do not stop now. California protects the more than 10 million immigrants that call places like Los Angeles home. AB 495 is not just a bill. It's a promise to immigrants and children of immigrants that California is safe. California is your home, and anyone trying to use fear as a weapon, you have misjudged the state. Californians do not turn on each other. We protect each other. That's right. We lift each other up, and we fight for each other. Right now, our democracy is at stake, and California recognizes that. This is a time for bold action, not fear. And we must not leave any room for misinformation to tell us how to protect immigrant families or dictate our policies. We will meet every falsehood with facts and every attempt to divide us with unity. Our democracy is stronger than the scare tactics being used against it. So to every parent hearing those threats on the radio or seeing them on the news, this coalition is here with you. You are not alone. We will pass laws that protect you. I'm not only a state lawmaker, I am a mother. And I want every parent to be able to pick up their child after school today, to ask them how their day went, and put them to bed tonight. Together, the Latino Caucus, the Women's Caucus, immigrants' rights advocates, survivor advocates, clergy, impacted community members, and I call on the governor to meet this moment and sign AB 495.
Yes.
Buenos dias. My name is Miguel Santana. I am President and CEO of the California Community Foundation. Welcome to our home. This is your home. We are here in strong support of this legislation for many reasons. One in 4 children in Los Angeles County lived in a mixed status household. That means they go to school every day worried that perhaps when they come home, one of their parents will not be there. I was one of those kids growing up. My parents were undocumented, and I worried every day that perhaps my parents wouldn't be home. But thanks to the leadership of Assemblymember Rodriguez and the entire legislature, this problem will be solved. There is now reassurance that families can provide guidance so that they know that if the worst were to happen, those children that they love, that they care for, will be provided to someone that they trust. This is what we need for every family. This is what we want for our own children. And so we've been so fortunate that we have a governor who has stood up during this time, who has made it clear that California has values that will not be compromised. And so we know that on this legislation, he will do the right thing. He will stand up for California values, he will stand up for our families, and he will sign this legislation. And so we are confident that when it comes to protecting our families, when it comes to protecting our children, when it comes to protecting the things that most matter, the governor will do the right thing. Thank you.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Angelica Salas, Executive Director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, CHIRLA, and an organization that has served and protected immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and families from all over the world during our nearly 40 years in California. We are here today to urge Governor Newsom to sign AB 495, the Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025. CHIRLA is a proud co-sponsor of this bill because it is rooted in our mission to keep immigrant families safe and together. The caregiver affidavit has been in state law for over 30 years, and the bill updates the law to consider the new reality for immigrants and their families. AB 495 gives immigrant families the tools to plan for their children's safety if a parent is suddenly detained, deported, or unable to care for them. It strengthens caregiver affidavits and guardianship options, making it easier for trusted adult relatives to step in and care for the children when parents are not around. Importantly, it ensures that this can happen without parents having to give up their rights. Too many families live with fear that an ICE raid or a sudden crisis could leave their children vulnerable. AB 495 builds the trust by requiring child care facilities to adopt policies that protect families' privacy and limit immigration enforcement access. Right now, immigrant families are under attack. Donald Trump has doubled down on fear, using raids and threats to terrorize our communities and separate children from their parents. California must push back and with these policies, keep families safe and united. No child should face abandonment or instability because their parents sought opportunity or safety in this country. We call on Governor Newsom to sign AB 495. Immigrant families are counting on you. By signing AB 495, you will make California a model of how states can stand with families, protect children, and resist fear. This bill is about dignity. It's about safety. It's about family unity values that define California at its best. As a proud co-sponsor, we thank Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez and the state legislature for their leadership on this important matter. And we urge Governor Newsom to sign AB 495 into law because families cannot wait, children cannot wait, and California must lead. Brevemente en español. Muy buenos días. Soy Angélica Salas, directora ejecutiva de CHIRLA, de la Coalición Pro Derechos Humanos del Inmigrante, una organización que por casi 40 años ha estado defendiendo y representando a nuestra comunidad inmigrante. Estamos aquí junto con todas estas organizaciones y líderes electos para urgirle al gobernador Newsom a que firme y apruebe la propuesta de ley AB 495, la acta de preparación familiar de 2025. CHIRLA ha copatrocinado esta iniciativa porque es fiel a nuestra misión de mantener a las familias unidas y resguardar el futuro y dignidad de nuestra comunidad. Se ha dicho cosas negativas de esta ley, pero quiero decirles que esta propuesta sí lograría cuando esta propuesta pase, sí lograría la protección de nuestros hijos. Demasiados padres de la familia viven con terror de ser separados de sus hijos menores y ser detenidos, arrestados, deportados por agentes federales de inmigración. La pesadilla más grande es no poder saber quién se quedará con los hijos con su papá o su mamá cuando no estén presentes. Nosotros urgimos al gobernador que firme esta propuesta de ley. And I want you to know that this legislation is about a person like Florencia. One of our volunteers went to visit her after weeks and weeks of being isolated. Her husband is undocumented. Her entire family is undocumented, so nobody could go visit her. One of our volunteers went to visit Florencia. The first thing she talked to the volunteer was her pain at not being able to take care of her autistic son of 14 years of age. Her son is ill. She cannot see her son. And she said, I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm deported and if my husband, who's also undocumented, is detained. Who's going to take care of my son who is autistic and has needs? So this is who this bill is about. It's about these families. It's about the children. And so we urge Governor Newsom to sign AB 495. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Professor Stephanie Richard, and I serve as the director of the Sunita Jain Anti-Trafficking Initiative at Loyola Law School. At the Sunita Jain Anti-Trafficking Initiative, we are survivor-informed, evidence-based think tank dedicated to closing the gaps in human trafficking prevention. We advocate for bold policy innovation and systemic change because protecting vulnerable communities is not optional. It's a moral imperative. Today I stand before you to urge Governor Newsom to sign AB 495, the Family Preparedness Plan Act, a critical piece of legislation that fortifies legal protections for children at risk of family separation. Let me be absolutely clear. AB 495 does not lead to child trafficking as the opposition has suggested. I have worked in the anti-trafficking movement for over 2 decades. I've advised both Los Angeles County and the state of California on child trafficking in the child welfare system since 2014. Based on this deep expertise, I can say with confidence that this bill strengthens protections. It does not weaken them. The real threat to children come from the federal government's aggressive and unfounded actions against immigrant families. When parents or primary caregivers are detained or deported, children are left vulnerable, exposed to trafficking and exploitation, kidnapping and abuse. Family separation is not just a policy failure, it's a pipeline to human trafficking. AB 495 is a direct response to this crisis. It builds on existing child welfare definitions and ensures continuity of care for children impacted by emergency circumstances like raids and deportations. It does not create a new category of caregiver. It is a lifeline. This bill provides a clear legal pathway for caregiver arrangements, preventing unnecessary trauma and instability. It empowers schools, child care providers, and community institutions to support families in a time of crisis. And most importantly, it prevents trafficking before it begins. AB 495 is not just legislation. It is a safety net for our children facing unimaginable circumstances. It ensures they are not abandoned, not forgotten, and not left vulnerable to human trafficking. Governor Newsom, the choice is clear. Sign AB 495, protect our children, stand with immigrant families, and take a stand against trafficking.
Quiero invitar a la señora Isabel, una persona, familia afectada, viene también con su hija. Isabel solamente usará su primer nombre, no su apellido, por razones de seguridad, and I will briefly translate for her after her comments. Isabel is a mother and an affected community member. She will only be using her first name for security purposes, and I will translate her comments briefly after she is done. Isabel, señora.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Isabel, vengo del Valle de San Fernando. En la Asamblea hay un proyecto de ley llamado AB 495. Esto ayudaría a familias como la mía, inmigrantes. En medio de las deportaciones, protege nuestros derechos como padres. En medio de las deportaciones, protege nuestros derechos como padres. ¿Qué pasaría si un día salgo de casa y no regreso? Porque me detuvieron. Con esta propuesta de ley, mi hija adulta podría hacerse cargo de sus hermanos y no dejarlos con familias extrañas. Gracias.
Déjeme el comentario para poderlo leer.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Isabel, and I live in the San Fernando Valley. I'm also a member of CHIRLA. In the Assembly, there's a project called AB 495. It would help immigrant families such as mine. In the midst of these awful deportations, this law will protect our rights as parents. What would happen if one day I leave the house and I cannot come back because they detain me? What would happen to my children? What would happen to my family? With this proposal, with AB 495, my adult daughter would be able to take care of her sisters and brothers, and I would not leave them with strangers. Please pass AB 495. Sharon?
Good morning. My name is Sharon Cartagena, and I'm the Directing Attorney of the Public Counsel's Child, Youth, and Family Advocacy Project. My team at the nonprofit law firm Public Counsel is focused on issues affecting children and their families. As part of our work, we often represent parents who face separation. And since ICE began its immigration raids in Los Angeles, we've seen many parents who come to us with questions on how they can make a plan for their family that ensures their children will be cared for and that they will have a pathway to reunify. Current California law does not offer very many options to meet both of these goals. AB 495 would change that. Under the expanded provisions for joint guardianship that AB 495 would create, parents could choose an adult they trust to care for their children if they're deported, and not risk permanently losing custody of their children. For example, I have represented several mothers who have lost all contact with their children after being deported because a guardianship was entered which suspended their rights despite there being no concerns about their ability to care for their children. And for less formal arrangements with family members, AB 495 would make caregiver authorization affidavits a legal tool that has been used by California families for over 3 decades, easier to use to enroll children in school or take them to the doctor. Parents need these options. They need to know their kids are safe and that they will have a pathway to reunify. We urge Governor Newsom to sign AB 495 and thank Assemblymember Rodriguez for her authorship of this important bill for children, parents, and families in California.
Good morning. I'm Kristen Power with the Alliance for Children's Rights. We are a proud co-sponsor of AB 495. The Alliance for Children's Rights Guardianship Program helps eliminate barriers and provides free legal services to caregivers seeking legal guardianship in probate court. Every day we see how family separation disrupts children's lives, causing deep emotional trauma, instability, barriers to education, healthcare, and long-term well-being. Our mission is to protect the rights of children in poverty and those overcoming abuse and neglect by delivering free legal services, supportive programs, and systemic solutions. Child well-being is at the heart of our services and drives our commitment to families in our community. Our community's children and their well-being are at the core of AB 495. AB 495 promotes parent engagement by making the difficult but very necessary decisions that are best for their family in the event of a family separation. AB 495 provides options to help support families in times of crisis, upholding our values. It strengthens parental rights and family options. In part, AB 495 makes minor modifications and amendments to the existing Caregivers Authorization Affidavit to promote clarity for caregivers, schools, and healthcare service providers. It does not change legal requirements, but simply revises the language of the Caregivers Authorization Affidavit to better reflect current law. The Caregiver Authorization Affidavit is an existing legal tool that has been used in California for more than 3 decades by caregivers to consent for school enrollment and some basic medical care. It allows families flexibility to ensure a child's basic needs are met without taking the dramatic step of a permanent guardianship, which would suspend the parent's rights. Those arguing that AB 495 facilitates human trafficking are misstating both existing law and the current provisions of AB 495. They are using fear tactics to erode options for our families facing separations in this very hostile climate, including options that have been in place for over 3 decades, without evidence that they have ever been abused. At the heart of AB 495 is a very simple truth. Children deserve stability and care from the people who know and love them most. AB 495 supports families and prevents unnecessary trauma for children, strengthens family stability, and ensures that schools and agencies are equipped to support families in times of crisis. We are so proud to stand with Assemblymember Rodriguez, members of the legislature, our community, our co-sponsors, and the many, many bill supporters who are supporting AB 495, and we urge Governor Newsom to join us in keeping children safe and in caring homes by signing the bill.
Good morning. My name is Maria Elena Durazo, California State Senator, representing the area of Central through downtown, through East LA, area of Los Angeles, very much impacted by the recent raids. I want to thank Assemblymember Rodriguez for authoring AB 495 to having the courage to protect our families and our children. We've seen the Trump administration target working people, spread fear, tear families apart, traumatize our children, violate our due process rights. This is unprecedented in our communities, unprecedented government cruelty. We are seeing parents have to prepare for the unexpected, live with the fear that when they walk their child to their first day of school or go to the grocery store or head to work in the morning, they may never return and see their children again. The other day at a community meeting I was at, a woman came up to me and she said to me that her 8-year-old child, her 8-year-old daughter, was asking her mom, "What clothes should I wear today that would make it harder for ICE to identify us and deport us?" Imagine that, an 8-year-old child having to think about how to protect themselves in case of ICE coming to their school or picking up their parents. We see parents have to prepare for the unexpected, live with fear. Our families have the right to prepare. As a mother, as a grandmother, as a tia, I will do all in my power to protect our children. That means, in this case, prepare in advance. Decide who and how my children will have certainty if our family is impacted by ICE. It is our responsibility as legislators and leaders to ensure students and families are prepared, protected. As a legislature, I'm proud that we have a package of bills that have been approved, waiting for the governor to sign, and others that he has already signed. Protections in schools, in hospitals, for street vendors. AB 495 gives families some certainty to children from families separated by these cruel immigration raids. Today and every day, I invite you to get involved, reach out to the governor, take a step, join organizations that need you. Today we are taking a step to connect us as a community, defending each other, defending each other's families. That is the humane thing to do. We stand firm, united. Governor Newsom, please sign AB 495. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Maishiro. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Gonzalez, and I'm proud to represent the 54th Assembly District where we are at today, where I call home. I want to just thank the Senator and all of the organizations that are here today. I'm a Latino. I'm an organizer, and a proud Latino organizer here and a product of the great city of Los Angeles. But like many of you, I'm mad that we even have to be here today. Angelica and I have seen each other practically every day since all of this has started, and Senator and Celeste and so many of us. But we're mad as hell, because why do we have to be here in the first place? I want to thank Celeste Rodriguez, my colleague, for all of her work that she's done. And I've seen the ups and downs, the hills and valleys that she has gone through to get this bill to where it's at today. She's a chingona. She's a brave person. She's a mom. The threats that she has received and her family's received, we are here today to say we have her back. And that's what this is about. And that's what the California Community Foundation is about. And I know Father John is here. He's my priest. But we are here with faith leaders and clergy and community leaders to say, Governor, please sign AB 495. On June the 6th, 118 days ago, the federal government unleashed a cruel spectacle. Raids designed to not bring safety, but to spread fear. Let's be clear. The ICE raids are not hunting down violent criminals, as Trump and his goons pretend. They are targeting workers. They are targeting our neighbors. They are targeting our families, and they are targeting children, ripping families apart at the core. No child, think about this, no child in California should ever have to stand at a school gate clutching their backpack, waiting for a parent who might not ever show up. Think about it. No mother should have to vanish into the night. No father should have to disappear without a trace. Our neighbors should not be stolen away by faceless agents whose shadows dark our doorsteps. They are not just gone. They are not just taken from us, but they are torn from us. And the silence left behind is deafening. Today, California has the ability to change that, change this new normal. AB 495 is our answer. It is how we protect our children when others seek to abandon them. AB 495 arms families with the power to plan, to shield, to preserve what is most sacred, the bond between a child and a trusted guardian. It ensures that even in the darkest moments, a child is not left alone but embraced by someone who loves them. California does not abandon its children. We do not let fear write the future of our families. We stand as a wall against cruelty. The same Republicans who claim to protect children now turn their backs when those children are left crying in the wreckage of broken families. Republicans love to preach about family values, but when it comes to keeping 1 million California kids safe with their parents, they'd rather rip families apart than live up to their own slogan. That is why today I stand shoulder to shoulder with my colleague, Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, and every family member who refuses to be silenced, and are urging Governor Gavin Newsom to sign AB 495. Because in California, we choose compassion over cruelty, we choose family over fear, we choose to protect the smallest voices amongst us, and in doing so, we protect the very soul of our state. Governor Newsom, we're asking you, we're begging you to please sign AB 495. Your signature line is going to be our lifeline. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Assemblymember Sade El Hawari, representing District 57, South Los Angeles, downtown LA, and I am so proud to represent our community and to stand alongside my amazing, incredible, chingona, as our other assembly member called her, Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez. Today, as we talk about the importance of AB 495, I'm reminded of the first Trump term, when a mother, an undocumented mother, who I was with when she birthed her daughter, who came to me when her daughter was 8 years old and said, "What do I do? Can you help me? Can you help protect my daughter if anything happens to me?" And that's exactly what AB 495 does, is it allows parents to protect their children, to have a plan for their children if ever they are to be detained or deported. It's so important that we have courageous assembly members like Assemblymember Rodriguez, who authored the legislation that allows us to talk about the priorities we have as families and for us as a part of the Legislative Women's Caucus. I stand before you today, but our district, my district, our districts, our communities have been ravaged by ICE and in federal enforcement officers who have been kidnapping our people right off the street without verifying if these are the individuals they are even looking for, taking undocumented folks and citizens alike. Imagine the horror of children coming home from school to find an empty home, unsure where their parents are or if they will ever get a chance to see them again. As a mother myself, this infuriates me. We know that children can become guardianless without the warmth, protection, and love of their mothers or fathers, in the most horrific cases, both of their parents. And so we know that what this administration is doing is that they would rather tear families apart. That's why AB 495 is so bold. It's ingenious. It's a compassionate way to combat this president's attacks on our communities, trying to break families apart. AB 495 gives parents the tools to ensure their children are well taken care of by a trusted loved one or family member in the event that they are separated by acts such as immigration enforcement. Thank you again to my colleague for all of your amazing work on this bill. I'm here on behalf of the Legislative Women's Caucus to encourage Governor Gavin Newsom to sign this incredible legislative work. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Imelda Padilla, and I am a council member for the City of Los Angeles in the 6th District, representing a lot of the overlapping communities as our champion here today, Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, Panorama City, Van Nuys, Sun Valley, Arleta, and portions of North Hollywood and North Hills, as well as Lake Balboa. I'm happy to be here today in support of AB 495, which was something that I call a no-brainer policy that elevates the importance that families should be empowered to form an action plan if forced to face this ugly face of separation that our current administration is putting them through. No child should ever face separation as we're living today without a plan, and families should be empowered to be able to choose what to do if put in that predicament. The times are unpredictable, and we as leaders are not staying quiet and pushing for something like this. The bill empowers families with the tools and resources they need to navigate moments of crisis with dignity and support, as many people have already mentioned today. In a time when our community is being targeted simply for being who we are, it's important that we stand together in solidarity, and that includes in the way that we govern, the way we create policies ourselves to combat. Here in Los Angeles, we know the strength of our immigrant community, and we are committed to showing up for our neighbors, our friends, and our families. The ongoing ICE activity in our city has been deeply troubling. The families living in fear, being separated because of the language they speak, the color of their skin, and as earlier mentioned, kids thinking through the way they dress. Are you kidding me? All of this is just so unacceptable. It's a time when the federal government seeks and is implementing fear, but we here are choosing action and compassion. And we need the governor to sign AB 495 because the folks that are in this room today, we're ready to get started on the implementation. So please, Governor Newsom, sign this so we can begin getting to work. Now more than ever, it's important that we stand together for everyone that is in our community. So, with that, I also want to say a few things in Spanish. Or just also, I've never been to a press conference where I'm borderline about to cry. That's how serious and how impactful this really is. I just really feel like we're in the twilight zone. Like, are you seriously? We're trying to make rules, policies related to keeping families together because there's an administration out there saying that it's okay to break them apart and then spread rumors to say that this actually enhances child human trafficking. It almost feels like we really are living in an Orwellian period where lies are turned into manipulative facts that are really false. So thank you to everyone. Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez, I mimic the message that you're a chingona for doing this, and I'm really excited to have been the council member that supported this through resolution at the City Council. So thank you again, and may we all work together to make sure that our governor continues to stay on our side, because implementation is next. That is next. So, y muy rápidamente en español, nomás les quería decir buenos días a todos. Yo soy la concejal del Distrito 6 y me da mucho gusto estar aquí hoy en apoyo de esta póliza AB 495. Es importante que las familias puedan formar un plan de acción en el caso de ser forzados a entrar en una separación. Ningún niño o niña debería enfrentar la separación sin un plan y familia a cual los padres les tienen la confianza. Este bill de las familias da las herramientas y los recursos que necesitan para enfrentar momentos de crisis con dignidad y apoyo. En este momento nuestra comunidad está atacada simplemente por hablar como hablamos y por vestirnos como hablamos y por vernos como nos vemos. Y aquí en Los Ángeles conocemos la fuerza de nuestra comunidad inmigrante y estamos comprometidos a apoyar a nuestros vecinos, amigos y familias. Hoy le pido, por favor, al gobernador Newsom que por fin ya firme esta póliza, porque la gente que está aquí no solamente queremos que ya se pase, porque nosotros ya estamos listos para lo que es la parte de implementación para ayudar a nuestras familias. Gracias.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Ramirez, and not only I am the Executive Vice President of CFT, but I'm also a former Vice President of United Teachers Los Angeles and have 28 years of teaching experience in elementary and adult education schools. I stand here representing CFT, a union of educators and classified professionals. We represent over 120,000 members, and I want to thank Assemblywoman Celeste Rodriguez for authoring this bill. We support AB 495. This is a very scary time for immigrant communities. As an educator, we are here for the benefit of all who are willing to learn and do not discriminate. And we know we are providing essential services. We know education is the key to success, and we have taught that America is the land of opportunity. Yet our community has been closed down, chased down and hunted by men in masks, following orders of a man who doesn't understand the effects of his own words. We have already seen agents come to our schools. On April 7th, agents from Homeland Security Investigation visited Russell and Lillian Street elementary schools in the Flores Graham neighborhood in South Los Angeles. This makes families live in fear of not knowing what will happen to their children if they get separated by immigration enforcement officers. AB 495, the Family Preparedness Plan Act of 2025, aims to create a safety net for families who may face separation due to immigration enforcement by providing legal mechanisms for temporary care arrangements. We are asking the governor to protect children and families and sign AB 495. We must make sure that families feel safe knowing that their children will be taken care if something happens to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. I am so proud to stand with you all today and fight for this critical bill for families across our state. Today, you heard from California foundations, immigrant rights organizations, teachers, the California Women's Caucus, the Latino Caucus, survivor groups, to legal experts, and we're just a piece of a large coalition representing our state to ask the governor to stand with us, to thank him for fighting the federal government, and to stand with our communities by signing AB 495. As has been mentioned today, we are meeting this moment with what needs to be done. We are taking action together, and we ask the governor to stand with us. The line of the day from Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez, your signature line is our lifeline. Sign AB 495. We will now... Si se puede. We will now take a couple of questions.
Thousands upon thousands of people have been detained, and so many of these families have actually multiple children. So it's not right now, you can't really believe any of their figures, but we estimate that a little bit close to 6,000 people have been detained just in our region. Think about the parents, the mothers, the fathers who've been detained. Many of them have multiple children. So for us, this is going to help thousands upon thousands of kids actually have the ability to be protected. In the state of California, 50, and maybe this is important for all of you to know, 50% of the children of California have an immigrant parent. So this is about California's kids. So it's so important that we sign this bill, because we can't stand around. And I just want to tell you, I want you to come over here because I'm so proud. I'm so proud you came with your mom. And that you're here with us, because it's about children like her. And so it's important. I really want to tell you, it's just awful what's happening to our kids. And the parents and their deep love for their children. The whole reason they came to this country is that their kids could have a better life. And so I just really want to make sure that the governor understands how important this bill is. Do not listen to the lies. Do not listen to all the other stuff that's being said about this bill. This is a bill about love. It's about a bill about just the responsibility we have as mothers and fathers to care for our children. Thank you. Y nomás brevemente, el 50% de los niños de California tienen siquiera un padre que es inmigrante. Este bill va a apoyar a los niños de California. Y a nuestra niña que está aquí le digo que muchas gracias por estar aquí, porque es tan importante tener esa protección, y hay tantos padres que están tan preocupados por sus hijos, y como inmigrantes nuestros padres llegaron a este país para darnos una mejor oportunidad, y nosotros como mamás y papás, como maestros, como personas de la comunidad, tenemos una responsabilidad para cuidar a nuestros hijos, y AB 495 dará esa oportunidad a nuestros hijos.
Any other member? Any other of the speakers want to add something? We'll take one more question. Okay. Hearing none, then we'll go ahead and formally conclude this presser. We want to thank, first of all, the speakers. We want to thank the partners, our friends, our families, la señora Isabel y su hija. Gracias por estar aquí. Members of the press, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you at home and at your office, thank you as well. And please call the governor and say yes to AB 495. Good afternoon, everybody. This concludes our press conference.